Good morning, students. Today in class 6 biology, I will teach you this last chapter. Will start today, that is habitats and adaptations. So first of all, you have to understand what are habitats and what is adaptations. So you all know that all the living organism, whether it is a plant or the animal, they are adapted in the particular environment. So the natural environment where the organism lives, multiplies and thrives naturally, that is called habitat. Or we can say it is a place where the living organism live in a particular area, and these habitat provide them shelter, food, water, air and the place to live so that they can raise their young ones. So habitat means the place where the animals or plants live in a particular area, and there are different types of habitats, and these are pond, lakes, forests, grassland, desert, mountains, polar regions and many others. So you all know that many plants or animals, they live in the different habitats. Some plants live in the pond, lakes, many plants are found in the forests, some grasses they live in the grassland, some animals also they are found in the ponds, lakes, forests, grassland, deserts, mountains and polar regions. So these are the different kinds of habitats where the organisms or the animals as well as plants, they occupy the particular area, and where they not only get food, water and air, but also they get a place so that they can raise their young ones. And now what is adaptation? Adaptation is the change in the physical feature or characteristics behavior of a species that allows it to survive successfully in the habitat. Means whatever the changes or the any kind of changes which occurs in their physical appearance or in their characteristics behavior so that they can survive particularly or better in that particular environment, that is called adaptations. And like we all have seen the polar bears mostly survive in the polar regions, cold climate, because they have some particular features in their body and which help them to survive in the polar regions. So what are the features of the polar bear which we see in their bodies? First of all, they have thick fur. So thick fur protect them from cold, and also they have thick layer of under skin or thick layer of fat which are present under the surface of the skin, and because of these fat and the thick hair, they are protected from the cold environment in the polar regions. So all the animals or the plants, like you have seen the cactus plants. Cactus plants are mostly adapted in the desert areas because they have particular feature. They have fleshy leaves. Their leaves are converted into spines, and they can store water as well as food for a long time. So because they are in the desert, there is no water available or less water is there. So because of that, their body of the plant or the animal is adapted to the particular environment. Like camel they can survive better in the desert areas because they have hump in their body, which can store water as well as food. So that's why they can live without water and food for many days also, and their legs are long to protect them from sand and all. So these are some of the features. So not only this camel or cactus I'm talking, but all the animals and plant, they are adapted in that particular environment, and according to that, their body features, their characteristics, behavior also are according to the environment where they live. Now we'll come to the types of habitats. Types of habitats, there are mostly two types of habitat: aquatic habitats and terrestrial habitats. So aquatic means which is related to water, like seas, oceans, ponds, lakes. These are the aquatic habitat. So all the animals or plants, they are found in the seas or oceans, ponds, lakes. They are having aquatic habitat. And some are terrestrial also. Terrestrial means land. So land habitat like forest habitat, mountains, deserts. So many animals and plants, they are found in the forest also, mountain area, desert areas like camel just now I told. So these are the two types of habitat: aquatic, which is related to water, and terrestrial means which are conformed to land area. Now the adaptation in this aquatic habitat. So if the animals or the plants, if they are present in that particular habitat, whether it is aquatic or terrestrial, so to their body features, their characteristics, behavior, they are according to that particular environment. So now let's see what are the different adaptations in the aquatic habitat. So first of all, aquatic plants means those plants which are found in the water bodies, or they are also called hydrophytes. So hydrophytes, hydro means water and phytes means plants. So those plants which live in water, they are called hydrophytes, and these hydrophytes are of three types: floating plants which float on the surface of water, fixed plant which are fixed on that soil under the water, and underwater plants which are at the bottom of the water. So these three are the types of the hydrophytes: floating plant, fixed plant, and under plants. Now, next is the I'll take some. I will give you some example of these types of plants: floating plants, fixed plants, and underwater plants. And about their characteristics, features, how they are adapted in pond or lakes or seas, oceans. So that I will discuss in the next class. So first we take the example of these floating plants like hyacinth, duckweed. Floating plant means they float on the surface of the water. So that's why they are called floating plants. So the example is hyacinth and duckweed. And fixed plants which are fixed in the water, like lotus and water lily, they are the fixed plants. And underwater plants which are present deep inside the water, and these plants are called like tape grass and pondweed. So these are some of the examples of the floating hyacinth, that is floating plants, fixed plants, and underwater plants. And the different features or the characteristic features of these floating plants, hyacinth, like hyacinth, duckweed, or fixed plant or underwater plant, they have some particular features so that they can particular survive in the ponds, lakes, or oceans. So what are the features which are present in them, that I will discuss in the next.